So as you guys know, last week was episode 50. We're turning over a new leaf. We're on the road to episode 100. This is episode 51 of YWC Football Talk. Phil is with me. I actually have a first-time guest, too, joining me. Nightmare Balla, Markeem is here. Big Rat will be here after the OSU-Miami game does wrap up. Man, boys, we got a lot to talk about. We got the college football playoffs on Friday. We got NFL's last week of the season, Week 17, coming up. And also, too, guys, it's the last episode of 2020, a year that everyone is just done with.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah. Are we talking about the Heisman Trophy?
We can talk the Heisman Trophy, too.
Just curious.
Oh, good.
Yeah, for sure. All right, go ahead. I didn't mean to mess up your intro. Go ahead.
That's all my intro. You know what? We're also going to talk a little Heisman. Thanks, Markeem.
Podcast, the YouTube Take Edition. We're throwing it back, baby. The reunion show. Big Rat will be in when late as always. So.
Hey, you know what? He's got a reason this time though. He's watching the Cheez-It Bowl right now, man. OSU taking on the U.
What's the game score on that? Go ahead, Griff. I'm gonna look at the score.
You know what? Okay, I was gonna say, Phil, you can go on. Score right now. Oklahoma's up 37-31 with about a minute 40 left, so he should be here sooner than later, I would say.
It's only a minute left. Wow.
Yeah. I think Miami's quarterback, I think.
Good, Markeem?
You said is Oklahoma State any good?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's they are as good as a Big 12 team can be this year.
So we're better than them. Got it. Okay.
Because this year, that conference as a whole. And here's the thing. I'm glad you brought that up. Most years, the Big 12 is underrated nationally because they usually score a lot of points, and you know what I mean. And then every team is labeled as a team that doesn't play any defense. And then the bowl season rolls around, and they do reasonably well, and everybody's like, "Oh man, maybe the Big 12 was better than we thought." This year, I don't think the Big 12 was that good. Period. You know what I mean? Because Oklahoma, who's the flag bearer for that division, probably still the best team. They weren't that great. We saw Iowa State. I mean, we know
Iowa State should have won that. Like, obviously, I was rooting against them for obvious reasons, but Iowa State should have won that game. The clock management in that game was atrocious. The worst I think I've ever seen. Markeem, you remember the end of that game?
Yeah, but they were also getting killed at one point.
Oh, they were. I mean, they were coming back. They had to come back. Right.
Yeah, they're not that good, man.
No, they're not. But I'm just saying. I think they were more even with Oklahoma than the game showed it for a lot of it. Is what I was saying.
I think that just showed that the Big 12 just isn't what it was. It wasn't what it usually is. You know what I mean? Wasn't. Just my opinion.
Yeah, like the Big 12 too. It's like always Oklahoma, and then it's like interchangeable how 1 year one team can be great, and then the next year they can suck. Like, look at Baylor from last year to this year. Like, last year they were in the Big 12 championship, obviously lost to Oklahoma in overtime, and then this year, I guess losing Matt Rule hurt them, but they're back in the basement of the Big 12, and like Iowa State's kind of emerged as like this new team, so it's a wait and see, but man,
here's the thing about that, Griff. Like, and Markeem can either back me up or disagree with me, but there's only two college football programs currently. Maybe there's a third coming along that I don't know about, but there's two programs that are consistently good and can be consistently good. The rest, it's a hot mess. I mean,
in terms of actually winning a championship, there's only two.
Well, right, but the only
there's the same handful of teams that are pretty good, but like there's only two.
There's only two that are legit contenders every year. So
yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, and that'll change. It always changes. That'll change. Like that's the thing. That's why I love college football, because it goes in cycles. Like it always happens this way. That'll change. Like Bama's not gonna be good forever. I'm old enough to remember when Bama was embarrassing, where they were going through coaches. And they didn't know when Don Shula's son was.
You know me, and you live in Columbia, so you know just as much as I do. We didn't call him Clem Suck for nothing.
Yeah, they were terrible. Terrible for years. And these things go in cycles, and that's sports in general. That's why I hate when people go, the same teams win every year in college football. Right now, yeah, but like We'll see.
But look
We'll see how that is.
Like LSU won it all, and now they're not even in the talk conversation.
Well, they were cheating, so that's different.
Like, look at Texas. Like, even I don't mean to cut you guys off, but like, look at a program like Texas, where 15 years ago they were like the talk of college football. Now, like they're going through coaches, and you don't know what's up with there. So it's like there's always going to be a changing of the guard. Like, I'm pretty sure it was like almost 40 years between national championships for Clemson, though.
They won in 81, and then they won in, what was that, 2014? 2016, yeah.
Yeah, so about 35 years.
About the cheating, or you're talking about they were that good?
Oh, no, they were cheating. They were cheating. You didn't hear about the academic probation there on that?
On LSU?
Yeah. You hear about that?
I must have missed that.
Yeah. Look it up.
Okay, I'll look it up, but wow, okay, all right.
You don't remember right after they won the championship, Joe Burrow was joking about them paying players?
They actually paid players?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Odell paid players.
Wow. Well, I mean, to be fair, I think
how does Joe Burrow still have his Heisman then?
Well, he was joking about it. There's no proof about him. There's no proof about any of this, but come on, we know. Yeah. We know why there was such a big drop off. It wasn't just Joe Burrow. They were cheating, man.
Yeah, like Clyde Edwards. Also, too, the talent that all left, like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Like they had, like the cupboard was bare too. So like you gotta, it's really hard to disagree with you on that statement, actually, Markeem.
Yeah, they were up to no good.
I mean, you can make a case about that in a lot of college football, but we'd be here all night for doing that.
Oh yeah. Bama cheats. I'm sure Ohio State is cheating. I'm sure. I'm sure Clemson is cheating. They all of a sudden they're this. Come on now.
I mean, Dabo built. I mean, I'm not taking anything away. I hate Clemson, so granted, I would 100% love to agree with you. But I think Dabo has worked really hard to get that team to where they're at.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Phil.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're a young kid in the year 2014 or 2013. You playing for Dabo Swinney or Steve Spurrier?
I'm playing for Steve Spurrier.
And look, Steve Spurrier couldn't even get this team to what Dabo. And you gonna really sit here and tell me Dabo's a better coach than Steve Spurrier?
I mean, it's now, but yeah.
No. I'm telling you, Dabo, he is not and will never be a better college coach than Steve Spurrier. Right. Steve Spurrier is one of the 10 greatest college coaches to ever live. Right. Yep. Dabo Swinney.
He didn't get done in Carolina, so.
But he got them to where they've never been before.
Right.
South Carolina was winning double-digit games year after year with Steve Spurrier. Like South Carolina, you know how this goes. South Carolina's bad.
Happen again.
You know what I mean? Like Dabo is a top-tier recruiter because he's paying people. Like I can't prove that, but it's clear. You know what I mean? Out of nowhere, you're doing this. Come on, man. Come on. Trevor Lawrence.
But at the same time, when everybody's
a dude as touted as Trevor Lawrence decided to go to Clemson. Come on.
Well, I mean, Deshaun Watson was there, but like they also knew too, like Kelly Bryant wasn't going to be like this like great quarterback. So like they went out and got Lawrence, and look, he's set the world on fire.
But that's what I'm saying. Like Deshaun Watson, who was even a touted high school player, but not to the level of Trevor Lawrence. Even the idea of him going to Clemson like 6-7 years ago, it's unheard of. They had guys like Taj Boyd and shit, Charlie Whitehurst. Come on now. No, come on, man.
Like the whole thing with the NCAA too, like players getting paid under the table is like the biggest elephant in the room. Like for anyone who doesn't think that they're getting paid, like, or the families are getting compensated, like it's.
Bro, I've seen Clemson personally because I know some people that that follow it more closely than I do. I've seen Clemson's facilities like there's no that money ain't that. I mean, I'm not my friend that's a huge Clemson fan would argue the death to me that every school does it. I'm like, well, I'm just telling you.
every school that affords it, they can afford it.
They can afford it, right?
Every school.
Do you not see all these nice, not just like the universities, but the football teams, like the gyms that they have too, like $120 million into just the practice facility alone. Like the money is just insane. Like the Clemson football gym is probably nicer than the LA Fitness in Clemson.
just one wing of their facility is worth more than some colleges. Probably Coastal, to be honest.
Also, too, doesn't like the LSU locker room too? They have like nap pods and stuff. Like they have full-on cafeterias at the facility. Like, it's insane.
And let me just say that proves. I mean, we're kind of going off on this, but that proves without a shadow of doubt that football rules all. Because in a world now where everything is attacked, everything is super analyzed, everything is exposed, and that isn't exposed yet. That tells you how protected football is.
Football is king.
If you ever see the movie Concussion, that's another way. Like, Concussion is a great movie to show like how the lengths that people are willing to go to protect their precious sport.
Like, and it has the advantage of being a weekly event in America.
Right.
I mean, like football, every game feels like an event because there's only one game a week.
Yep.
You know what I mean,
and also too, like to Phil's point with Concussion, like. Obviously, I don't want to talk too much about it because it was a really embarrassing game. But last night's game, Phil, remember there was that hit Cam Newton and Jordan Poyer where Poyer got rocked, and then it was like, oh, I'm going to go back in. And then it's like the trainer had to come and go like, no, you're coming out. Like, Concussion, like I remember watching Concussion with a group of friends who aren't really big football fans, and it opened so many eyes to people outside of the football community of what really goes on. Like they said, the NFL is an organization that owns a day of the week, for Christ's sakes. Like,
bro, no, you're exactly right. When I finished watching that movie, one, I cried. I'm pretty sure I did. And second of all, I hated football for like a day. I mean, obviously it lasted a day, but like, I still to this day, honestly, I'm never, like, it did change. I will say this, it forever changed that I always wanted my future sons to play football. I will never ask them to. If they want to play, then I'll make it happen. But I will never put that on them. Never.
I'm the same way. I was the same way until I got hit for the first time. I'm like, I don't want my kids doing this. Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, the things that go over in that movie, obviously there's a lot, like that movie got a lot of backlash because the NFL was trying to block all the truths from that movie apparently, but there's enough in there that makes the NFL look bad, so I don't know how they agreed to that, but
yeah.
Money. I'm sure the concussion people gave him money.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, the whole, even to the stuff of him getting shut out and people making Bennett, like, Will Smith's characters say, like, how he's made him seem like a crazy guy, and it's like, what the hell are you doing? But in reality, look, like, a quote from the movie, it exposed a boogeyman that the NFL did not want coming to the light of day, and it did.
The realest scene in that movie is when he's sitting down with, I think, somebody from the Pittsburgh Steelers or whatever, and you can see the stadium in the background. He's like, how dare you tell me that you're going to let that, like, I don't know, I can't remember exactly what he said, but that was scary. He's literally saying guys are dying and killing themselves, and the guy's basically looking at him like, okay, but we have a football stadium.
Or even to the scene where he's just like, tell the truth, when he's with the doctor.
I think that's the one. Is that the same one, I think?
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's talk a quick little college football, because we have the semifinals this Friday. I don't even want to ask who do you think's going to win, because I think we know more than likely who will win. But I want to ask the two of you, what are the odds we see an upset in either game?
All right, can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead. Mark,
all right, go first. There is 0 in the Notre Dame game, and that's not a knock against them. They just do not have the athletes to stop maybe the greatest offense that we've ever seen. They just don't. Like I think that if they had a better quarterback, they would have a puncher's chance. Because I think Ian Book is trash. I think he's absolute trash. He's not good. He's not good at all. Every time he has played a game where he was not at an extreme advantage, he has not played well. He didn't play well on Saturday. He didn't play well against almost every conference game this year. You know what I mean? Almost every one that was important. He did not play well. And I don't even think he played that great against Clemson when they won. You know what I mean? They just happened to win. You know what I mean? If they had a better QB, I think they have a better shot. But I don't think they have any chance. Ohio State, because of Justin Fields, they have a puncher's chance. Here's the weird thing about that game. I think that Clemson's team is worse while Trevor Lawrence is better. And I think Justin Fields' team is a little better while he's worse. You know what I mean?
I couldn't say it better myself, Markeem. Yeah.
Like I just think that, they have a shot because that team, I think, is just a little bit better than what they were last year. And they didn't get embarrassed last year. You know what I mean? So Yeah, I don't think they're gonna win, but they got a puncher's chance.
No, I agree with that. I think, look, Alabama's just on another level. I think Mac Jones excluded just because, you can put any college quarterback in that system and they would thrive with all the weapons they have.
Don't play my boy, man. He's been great this year, man.
Oh, he's been great. I'm just saying,
people saying that shit, but Mac Jones has played really well.
I'm just saying, if you put him on, let's just say, South Carolina, Phil. Is South Carolina a better football team?
Okay, hold on, Markeem. I get what. Okay, no, Markeem McGriff. I love that argument, right? So let's I'll use this as the best example of this in my opinion. Okay, you have Jamarcus Russell, who is a great quarterback for LSU, correct?
Yeah.
He goes to an organization that was straight ass, straight ass. The Raiders were ass. There was no way any quarterback is coming in and saving the day. Not even Trevor Lawrence. Not Patrick Mahomes. It ain't happening.
Well, Jamarcus Russell's a bad example.
But you know what I'm saying is the talent level was there, right? Jamarcus Russell, maybe that's not a good example. But I'm just saying, for example, Tom Brady, we'll use Tom Brady, I guess, but he was a 6th-round pick, so it's not the perfect example.
Peyton Manning is probably the best example of this.
Oh, okay, maybe Peyton Manning. But,
he's probably the best example. Everyone knew he'd be good.
Everyone knew good.
But I don't think he would have been good.
Because his team was horrible.
Yeah. I don't think he would have been any good. I don't think he would have turned into what he turned into had he got drafted by the Bengals. You know what I mean?
Which is what I'm saying about Brady. It does matter, and I know I'm using that in the NFL sense, but you're talking about Bama and Clemson, who are NFL quality college teams, pretty much.
Yeah.
So insert a guy, not taking anything away from Mac Jones or Trevor Lawrence. So it's easy to say that, right? But it's there are some talent. You have to truly analyze their talent, and the way to analyze it is in the games and the way they play.
Yeah, and trust me, as someone that has seen every fucking type of quarterback come through that Bama system, right. Mac Jones is good, man. I seen AJ McCarron, and I knew he wasn't it. You know what I mean? I saw it was Billy Sims, and I knew he wasn't it. Jalen Hurts, I don't think is it.
I disagree with that. Yeah.
Tua's okay, you know what I mean? But
I say talent-wise. I say talent-wise, Markeem. I think Jalen Hurts has the heart that he's going to find. He just seems like he's going to find a way to win.
And that's fine. That don't make you good, though.
That's true. I mean, I defended him like the death because Tua is a good guy, and good guys deserve to be.
But I still wanted to see him play in the league, but you know he wasn't good. We all know he wasn't good. We know that.
But yeah. So what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh. On this topic, because I'm glad it got brought up, Danny, I let him go because I'm going to let Big Red, if he gets back on, he can maybe attack Danny if he wants to. But Danny, I don't know if I think he's some of it strolling, but he's thinking that he's like, man, y'all really reached on that Tua guy, that Alabama system quarterback. And I'm like, what? Okay, yeah, I'm not saying Tua, like Markeem just said, maybe he's not wowed by Tua, but Tua's not a system quarterback.
Yeah, he's all right. He's not bad.
He's not he's terrible. He may not be, and one, Danny, it's freaking year one. Okay, buddy, your team can't even lose right. I'm sorry. I had to go off on Danny a little bit. Anyways, continue what we were talking about.
Yeah, but I don't think he's great. But, he's all right. Not bad.
Yeah.
But, yeah, what I'm getting at is and Markeem would agree, Griff, is, and not to attack what you said, but, I think you really have to know football and know the quarterbacks and know what you're looking at. I think you can't, just be blinded by the team because I think...
Now, mind you, I don't think Mac Jones is going to be anything on the next level. His arm just is not good enough. It's just not. You know what I mean? He doesn't make NFL throws, but I think he has the mind of it. He makes the right decisions. He makes great decisions.
Which is why, to me, but to me, I take that any day over the arm. And the reason why I say that is, look at Daniel Jones, who can't hold on to the ball. Look at Carson Wentz, who's now, in his head, I don't know what's going on with him. But decision making is what costing these guys the games. The ones that can at least not make the mistakes are winning.
Or Dwayne Haskins' stripper problem.
Yeah, but I think with Mac, at some degree, you have to be able to make at least most of the throws. I don't think he can. I just think he's really smart.
I got you.
To be honest with you, I think he can turn it. What is he? I think he's a junior. He should come back. He should definitely come back. But
yeah. Can I say something about that whole argument about coming back, though? Because I remember Matt Barkley did it, and he was kind of could have gone high in the draft, but he didn't. His career's kind of there. And then I remember even, too, Justin Herbert got criticism, because in 2019, he comes out. He probably goes number 1 to Arizona instead of Kyler Murray.
Well,
Like,
I think Justin Herbert is a good example. I think he made a good decision.
Yeah.
Because I think he ended up in the best place for him.
And he won a Rose Bowl, too.
But see, and here's the thing, like, Trevor Lawrence would there's literally no reason for him to come back. Literally no reason.
No.
Like, I heard some people, like, there's not even an option for him to come. Like, one, he's about to get married for anybody that doesn't know. But, like, he's not coming back. He could go to the worst team ever, which would have been the Jets. Now it's the Jags. I mean, at least he's going to go to Florida and be able to, like, sunbathe while he's losing.
And he's going to be all elite.
What'd you say?
He's going to be all elite.
He's going to be all elite, yes.
That's
Trevor Lawrence
funny.
will probably be on Dynamite, so.
That's funny.
Yeah. But no, like, out of both games, though, like, I just wanted to say that with Mac Jones, where, like, I think he's a good quarterback, but I think in the NFL, I agree with Markeem, look, he can't make the throws, but I think he's going to have the quarterback IQ to maybe be not a great NFL quarterback, but he'll be, like, average, like, average-ish.
Which is why I would love him on the Patriots. Absolutely love Mac Jones on the Patriots, because Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels would make him into a star. I just know they would.
But look at guys like A.J. McCarron and Greg McElroy, though, who, like, went to Bama and, like, the best thing about McCarron is the woman he married, who went viral during that BCS championship game against Notre Dame, Catherine Webb.
But also, where did A.J. McCarron go? To a pit called the Cincinnati Bengals at the time.
True.
Yeah, but we knew he wasn't going to be any good.
Well,
the kid would say every week that he was terrible. Every week he would say he was terrible.
And on another note of the Notre Dame-Alabama matchup, Markeem, I don't know if you remember this, but they played in the championship. I don't know what year you might know that.
2012. I just said it.
2012?
Yeah.
So that year, I picked Notre Dame to win because I said people disrespect every team that's not the SEC, right? And they literally made me look like the dumbest college football fan in the universe. So Notre Dame can go kiss my ever-loving booty hole. I will never pick them. I hope they get massacred, even though I'm big on upsets. I'd love to see an upset. Not Notre Dame. Bama, wax the floor, go to halftime, go and rest your starters.
Yeah, you ain't gonna see it this time. They gonna get killed.
I hate Notre Dame. Hate them. They're always overrated, and over and over again they get proven they don't belong. And then they finally join the ACC, and what happens? They still prove they don't belong.
The problem is that Brian Kelly wins enough big games to where like their ranking is usually justified, but then they'll play a game where literally their season can change, and that's when they embarrass themselves.
And that's when they get embarrassed. Yeah. Which is I told people, and like, even Clemson, like my friend that I always talk to, and I ask him how he feels about the game. He was nervous about the Notre Dame game, and I told him, I said, literally, your guys are gonna wax the floor with them. He's like, well, I always had your confidence. I'm like, and then the result happened. I'm like, man, somehow I told you so. It doesn't.
The only reason they won the first was because Trevor Lawrence had COVID.
Yeah,
that's it.
Literally, the only reason. Literally, yeah.
Yeah, literally the only reason. The other thing I'll say too about Ohio State and Clemson is I would give Ohio State some merit and potentially upsetting, but this game's going to come down to defense, and by far Ohio State's defense is taking a huge hit. Like Phil, you know how the Patriots defense is taking a big hit with COVID opt-outs?
Right.
The Ohio State defense 2019 to 2020 is taking massive hits because everyone went to the NFL. Like 3 examples: Damon Arnett, Jeff Okudah, Chase Young. Like, if it's just asking what defense can, and also too because, man, I love that Stolsky. That's the other thing too with the Notre Dame game that people forget about. The first one, Clemson had some key figures on defense banged up. So I just can't see Clemson losing unless Justin Fields has a perfect game.
And here's the thing.
Here's the thing, though, Griff. Like, while I agree with you about their losses on defense, their defense has played better. So, like, you know what I mean? Because Justin Fields has been bad. Like,
and here's the thing too. Like, as much as we love those players last year, like, if I remember correctly, Chase Young didn't do as well as he should have in that game against Clemson.
Well,
he was quiet.
He was very quiet because whether it was him or because that offensive line was that good, like, you could give both credit or whatever. But look at him in the NFL being nasty right now, like nasty. So another thing I'll say this too, we talked about this earlier, the whole big C word, right? Ohio State ain't nothing but cheaters, okay? It may not be them, it may be more the Big Ten, but literally rules were bent, broken, thrown upside down, thrown over to the whole other side of the country, brought back and changed all together so that the Ohio State could be in this title game. So I don't want.
Kevin Warren's also a fucking moron, though.
They wanted to make sure the Big Ten got in this damn playoff. The Big Ten was going to get in this playoff regardless.
I was literally on another podcast today talking about this and saying how the playoff is just a popularity contest. Like, we knew at the beginning of the year it was going to be Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and there's going to be one, and there's just one place filler. Last year was the only year we saw some parity where the teams were a little bit different with LSU coming in instead of Bama, but for the most part, it's a popularity contest as long as it's a 14 playoff.
Exactly, and this is going to lead into my other rant that I wanted to rant back about for weeks, and I did on my YouTube channel, and it inspired Markeem to do the same on Twitter. So the G5 need to be like, listen, guys, the only way we're ever getting anything is, let's just say, F y'all, we're doing our own thing. And I don't know legally, I don't know how NCAA works, I don't know how they're allowed to do that. But if I'm the G5, I say we ain't playing nobody in the Power 5 because we ain't gonna get it anyway. So.
I agree with that. But here's my thing, y'all. And you both, I'm not saying either one of you are wrong. You're absolutely right. Both of you, absolutely right. I feel like not as many people will watch. You know what I mean? Because I feel like one of the things about
that's their argument though, Markeem. But
it's the truth though. No.
Tell me people who know college football are gonna watch Bama and Notre Dame. They're gonna tap out at halftime, so you're losing half your viewers, just like that.
See, the reason why I disagree is because it's Bama and Notre Dame. Like those games are always high, regardless of the score. They're always highly rated. It's Bama and Notre Dame. Like I don't think people are going to tune in to watch Bama destroy Temple. You know what I mean? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen.
I'm not saying Temple, but imagine if we had Bama versus Cincinnati even.
But I just use them as an example. You know what I mean? It's a smaller school, But yeah,
here's my thing, Markeem.
I don't think people are going to tune into that.
This is what makes me even more mad. Okay, that's fine. If that's the truth, be the committee and be like, if you're not Power 5, you're not making it in. Just call it like it is.
Say it. I will say that. Definitely say it.
Just call because it doesn't benefit you at all to be like, well, maybe you could make, what is it? No, because now you have teams pissed off, and now you're going to have teams like Cincinnati, if they win their bowl game, to claim they're national champions. Coastal obviously can now because they lost, but and that game is whatever, and I don't even want to talk about it, to be honest, but I mean, I'm proud of Coastal. Let me just say that, okay? But Coastal should have never been playing Liberty in a bowl game. They should have never been playing Liberty in a bowl game. One, Liberty, if they had COVID, great. If they didn't have COVID, they were scared to play us in the first place because they knew they were going to get beat. Now they got motivated and had nothing else to live for but a bowl game against us, and of course they got the win. And they won it off of a blocked field goal at the end. Whatever, I'm bitter. I don't care. But I'm just saying, Carolina got robbed out of a New Year's Six. There is no one will ever tell me otherwise, but it's okay because guess what? You know what they say, and I'm going to say this like I've never said it before. Karma's a bitch. So go ahead, disrespect my Chanticleers again, and let's see if it works out for you in the future, okay? BYU, props to you for coming in 2 days late, but y'all said play anybody anytime. We waxed y'all, okay? I mean, obviously we didn't destroy you. It was down to one.
It was a good game.
Man, the Mormons weren't ready for that Coastal smoke.
Hold up. I said wax. I'm heated up, okay? I didn't mean it like that. What I'm saying is props to BYU, and you can make an argument. I will lay this out there. Coastal Carolina had maybe the two best college football games of the year. BYU and Coastal and Liberty. Obviously, there's other games probably you could put up there, but I laid those out as two of the top 5 games of the year.
I'm interested to know how many people watched that Liberty game, though.
Well, apparently it was the most anticipated bowl game. I don't know if I believe it.
No. I definitely had that one. I want that because here's the thing, y'all don't know. See, Phil knows this because he's known me for years. I'm a huge college football fan. But something about this year and COVID has taken my love for college football because, I used to sit on the couch Saturday, watch as many games as possible.
TCU versus Oklahoma State Tech,
Yeah. He knows that. How do you even know about these games? This year wasn't the case. I didn't watch I watched my Hokies because I enjoy Cruel and Unusual Punishment. And I watched the big games, you know what I mean? But I didn't watch as much as I should. And I watched Coastal a couple times because I was curious. Because, I'm high on Zach Wilson. I was like, let me see what he does against Coastal. And then I saw, I was like, oh,
he got
maybe
scared.
this team is good. Yeah, maybe this team is good. You know what I mean?
Had moments, but he got scared. I mean, he was scared.
But yeah, I hadn't watched that's why I'm kind of curious about how all these bowl games are doing.
But yeah, one thing about Markeem, man, I'm telling you, like this podcast, I'm sure has helped Griff. And it's helped me as well. But I'm just saying, like, getting other perspectives and getting out there and finding and sitting back and saying you don't know everything. Like, I've learned so much about college football through Markeem. I even learned NFL, and I think we've all learned from each other. But it's like, I've always claimed to know a lot of stuff, and I think like my record kind of shows. Like, I mean, I'm gonna miss every once in a while, but like, I think my record, Markeem's, and others. I mean, Griff, as well. You're starting to get those as well, but I guess I'll give the kid a little bit of credit. But I think that this kind of gives us that avenue to prove it. Because like Twitter, I mean, half the time I'm trolling, and the other half I'm like, nobody wants to listen to me anyway. But when I'm like, man, it's almost like I'm right. So. But yeah, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just saying I'm tooting Markeem's more than anything. But Markeem opened my eyes a lot. And, I mean, YouTube take opened my eyes a lot about Peyton Manning, too, because I was a massive hater. I was a massive Peyton hater. And look, people continue to hate Tom Brady, and he's continuing to win. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's move. We spent a lot of time on this.
We'll move on.
We'll move on. It's unfortunately the last regular season Sunday of the NFL season, so we're gonna run through all the games and stuff. And towards the end, I'm gonna ask.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Before we go, Devontae Smith should win the Heisman Trophy.
Oh yeah, sorry. Markeem, you keep reminding me about the Heisman. Phil, I'm gonna say Devontae Smith too, because there's maybe Kyle Trask is the only player I can see. But Phil, who's your Heisman pick?
My Heisman pick is honestly, honest to God, because I just know that Trevor Lawrence is not going to get it. He missed games, so he's not going to get it. I think they're going to give it to Mac Jones.
Yeah, because they usually give it to quarterbacks.
Right.
Yeah. But Kyle Trask has been the best quarterback, period, this year.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to win just because Florida has lost too many games.
Yeah, too many games.
But, Kyle Trask is definitely the best quarterback. I feel like Devontae Smith has just been the most explosive player with the most moments, which they hold a lot of stock in.
So Markeem, what do you rank him as far as your Julio Jones, your
he's none of them dudes.
Oh, he's not. All right.
hey, don't get me wrong, he's really good, but I don't think he's as good as, let's say, like you said, Julio Jones or Calvin Ridley or who else we got? Give me some other names.
There was a guy last year. Who's the guy last year? Jared Judy or no?
Yeah, Giroud. I don't think he's as good
Ruggs?
I don't think he's as good as Y'all get the point. Armani, what's his name? Booker? Not Booker. What's his name? You split for the Cowboys. He's still playing for Cowboys, right? What's his name?
Mark Cooper, yeah.
Mark. I don't think he's as good as him either. But he's good though. Really good.
Well, that makes me a little depressed because I kind of want the Pats to take him too. So I don't know.
Oh no, he'll be good, but he's not going to be that. He's not going to.
All right. Yep.
All right. Well, anyway, guys, right before we get to the NFL, we actually have not sure if you can hear us, but Big Rat is here too. So we have the whole squad is here.
Got that.
Yeah, kid. I've been following the game as we were talking. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, man. It was a tough one. This just shows how bad the standards are around here. I'm happy they didn't quit because their last two bowl games, they've absolutely quit. So at least they competed. But yeah, tough one to lose.
The only things I saw from it, I just wanted to ask you about. Do we know the extent of King's injury, or is it more than likely an ACL?
I mean, we don't. Manny said we don't know for sure. We'll find out tomorrow. But just like from a few friends of mine that specialize in that kind of thing, they think something was torn. Whether it be an ACL, MCL, PCL. It didn't look good because it was a non-contact injury.
Oh,
I think it looks like he tore it. Both he planted and then he got hit, and we thought that the injury came from the hit. But if you look closely, it seems like the injury came from the plant on a non-contact. Kind of like
that's a tear. That's a tear.
it looked very similar to what happened at Jimmy G against the Chiefs a few years ago. Like, I had that same visual running through my head. So.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. But Kosi came in, fought his ass off, played hard, and the defense is terrible, as it's been all year. And the receivers are bad, as they've been all year. And, yeah, some coaches will probably get fired over it. But
Oh, Blake Baker?
he's been horrible, man. Miami, during the Al Golden era, Miami was known for always having a terrible defense with Mark D'Onofrio. 2 weeks ago against UNC, they scored 62 points, 770 yards. The 770 yards was an all-time record. So, yeah. There might be coaching changes coming. Let's just say that.
I wish there were coaching changes coming in Virginia Tech. Oh, my God, man. Conte's awful. Fuck him, man. It's terrible.
Big Rat, before we get to the NFL, since you weren't here, I wanted to ask you quickly, do you see any upsets happening this Friday, and who do you have winning the Heisman?
I don't know what you guys said, but I think there's a chance Ohio State can upset Clemson. I know that Ohio State has looked kind of meh in the only two legitimate games they played against Indiana and against Northwestern. But I think Ohio State was missing a lot of guys in that Northwestern game. They're going to come back for this game. And I think we've seen Clemson's defense at times has been able to get picked on a little bit by some teams. So I think it could be a close game. I think Clemson's going to win, but I think a lot of people are expecting it to be like some romp. Maybe that's what you guys said. I don't know. But I think it's possible Ohio State can keep it close. But I'm still going chop, Clemson, Bama. And my intuition is that Devonta's going to win, but I could be wrong. It just seems like all the votes at Bama are split amongst all three of those guys, and we know Najee didn't make the finalist list. That I think that the tie is actually going to go to the receiver, just because. And normally it's not like that, but that's just kind of what it seems this year. Like all those 200-yard games he had and all that. So yeah, that'd be my guess. But I could easily see it going to Mac Jones or Trask. We'll see.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to ask, but no, we're all in agreements that Bama's should roll, no pun intended, roll Notre Dame, and I think. I kind of agree with you where I still think Clemson can win. I wouldn't be shocked if they blew them out, but I wouldn't be shocked either if it was closer than anticipated.
Some things have to go right for the game to be close. Some things at the beginning have to go right.
And I recognize Ohio State's defense is certainly very questionable, as it has been this year.
See, and I'm going to be the guy to defend them because Justin Fields has been bad the past few weeks.
He has.
They've kept them in all these games. Just saying.
I get you. I guess most people have that image. The problem is they've played so few games, so we take a lot out of little instances. But man, their secondary just got torched by Indiana. Torched. Fields wasn't great then either.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you guys about quickly, because I saw this on TikTok before we started recording, and it was this account that had which college is really DBU. He had LSU, Ohio State, Alabama, and Florida State. Which one would you think is the best DBU? Just something I wanted to ask.
Well, the kid will like this answer. Historically, it's Miami. But I guess right now,
It's close.
What are you saying?
Which college is really DBU?
Maybe. Well, if we say LSU, can we count Stingley? Even though he's obviously not eligible yet, but just if we can count him.
You mean the college that produces the best defensive backs that we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, just make sure I understood. I got you.
Yeah.
Well, Florida, and I know you didn't say Florida, but Florida gets a lot of guys drafted high. They're not that good, but Hargraves, Tease Tabor, C.J. Henderson last year, all those guys get drafted high, even if they're not that good.
Yep.
Yeah, Clemson recently has gotten a bunch of them drafted out too.
Florida. If you're talking recent history, Florida State produced Jalen Ramsey and Derwin James. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
If only Derwin can stay healthy.
And also,
I'd probably go with Florida State just because those two. Probably. Yeah. But historically, the answer is Miami, unfortunately.
And before, and I just want to ask, I know we're going to do NFL stuff. Did you guys talk about because I wanted to ask Markeem about Bama Clemson. I'm guessing everyone's expecting, I don't know, some sort of similar close game or anything out of it?
The championship?
Oh, we didn't talk about that, actually.
We didn't even talk about who would win the championship.
Oh, no. I know that game's not happening yet. I just like that's.
I'll say this. I'll just jump in first. I personally think from the eye test, like I can only go by what I've seen and who they beat. I think Bama is the better team. But
I think Bama has one of the best offenses in the history of college football.
Yeah.
And I just wonder is Clemson enough to slow that down? And when I say I don't mean them, I mean that machine. You know what I mean? Like it's yeah. I probably have to go with Bama.
Yeah, sorry, Griff. Didn't mean to interject. I just wasn't sure if you guys had talked about it or not. That's all.
Oh, it's all good. I think Bama would win, but does anyone here remember the 20? Like I was saying, actually never said this. Do you remember the 2016 national championship game? Well, anyone?
I do.
I think that's how this.
Baby.
I think this is this. If it is Bama Clemson in actually Miami, I think it could be a very similar game to that one.
That Clemson team is one of Markeem's least favorite teams ever because they played like garbage most of the year, made the playoff, and then dominated the last two games.
Yeah, it pissed me off. They were bad all year, every game.
Pretty much, they were the NFL team, Markeem.
They were the New York Giants. So.
The New York Giants, yeah.
With Jake Coker at quarterback for Alabama. But I'm looking at all the draft picks. Like, Alabama literally has all but only five of their starters from that game were not selected in the NFL. Like, if you look at Alabama's lineup right now, it is impressive from that game. Yeah, like, let's just say...
And somehow they managed to do it every year. It's insane. Like, look, man, I know Clemson has been, slightly better, but Bama's still Bama, man. Nick Saban is still... Do you guys realize that since he's taken over at Bama, he has pretty much played in a national championship game 75% of the seasons he's coached there?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That makes no sense at all. No sense.
And it's not meant to slight him because I know he's had a good year, but I saw someone on Twitter pointed out, someone asked, is Bama ever going to have a down year? And someone responded, Mac Jones is his bridge quarterback. This is not even supposed to be a superstar. Even with their bridge quarterbacks, they could still dominate the scoreboards and be the favorites to win it all. It's nuts.
Yeah. So anyway, are we ready to move on to the NFL?
Way better than Miami ever was. I'll tell you that. Way better.
Hey, I'm not going to fight you.
I'm just fucking with you.
We can calm down the Miami hate today. They're coming off a tough loss, even though I think they've been overrated all year long. They were winning a lot of close. They should have lost to your Hokies. It's unbelievable they won that game.
Markeem, I have a question for you that semi reminded me because of Miami because they got blown out by him. Is North Carolina legit? Are they almost there?
I don't know.
They have two. I just was looking at stats and stuff. And I'm like, they have two running backs of 1,000 yards. Like, holy cow!
They're good though, but they're not.
I was just asking. I mean, the ACC is trash, so I was just
Well, they're going to lose a lot of. The problem is a lot of those they're going to keep Howell, but they're going to lose the two receivers. They're going to lose Javonte Williams. Those guys aren't coming back.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm just telling you, right? The Canes quit that game. I'm credit to UNC. They're a great offense. Not taking anything away from them, but the Canes quit. Just straight up quit during that game. So don't.
I believe you. I believe you. I saw the massacre. I believe you.
But the Canes have been kind of fraudulent all year. So they had all these losses were coming, but it's a shame they actually tried today. For once, they actually tried hard in a bowl game and they didn't win.